Hey there, it's Seb Frey, and it's time for another exciting episode of Seb Frey TV. I'm going to put on my cranky old man hat. Gee, I wish I had a hat I could use as a prop right now, but I don't. So imagine a cranky old man hat. I don't even know what a cranky old man hat looks like, but listen, here's what happened. So today we went down to a nice restaurant, pretty nice restaurant actually. I've been there a number of times before in the past. It's actually the restaurant we had my wedding party dinner at like 12, 13 years ago, whatever it was, 12 plus. So we go down there and, you know, first of all, they tell us, hey, we don't do reservations. And we were a party of 10 people and they said, oh, we don't do reservations. And so, okay, so we get down there and we sit down and they put us right next to a table that has reservado, which means reserved, right on the table. So I don't know why they say they don't do reservations, but yet they had a table reserved right next to the table where they sat us at. That was kind of strange. Anyway, so they sit us there in this table for 10, kind of in the corner of the restaurant there. And you know, when they gave us the table, I saw that there was a big refrigerator behind us, but I didn't really think too much of it. But turns out that was an actively used refrigerator. I thought it was maybe like deep storage or something. I don't know. But they kept on coming the whole time that we were there. Like every 5 or 10 minutes, I'd have to like scrunch up against the table so that they could grab some wine out of the refrigerator. That was pretty annoying. And it was a buffet, right? I mean, they actually also had a menu. You could have ordered from the menu, but nobody did. We all went to the buffet. And, you know, the food was pretty good at the buffet. You know, it's a good restaurant. You know, that's why we had our wedding dinner there and why we went back again. And, oh, by the way, the restaurant, it's Mango's, okay? Mango's in Larcomar. And I wrote a review up on TripAdvisor.com about this place. And, you know, it's kind of gone downhill. Mango's, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. You know, it's the prices have gone up a lot and the food quality is the same, right? Like it's, you know, it was good food. I'm not going to say it wasn't good food, but the price sure has gone up and they've jammed a lot of tables in there now. You know, like that's why we were back up against the refrigerator, right? Because this is kind of an expensive restaurant. It's certainly not the most expensive restaurant in Lima, but it's certainly not the cheapest. And it does have a nice view of the ocean, although because we were jammed back up in the corner, we didn't really get much of a view where we were at. Anyway, so we had the buffet, and it was good, I guess. But, you know, the buffet didn't come with drinks, right? So we had to order the drinks, right? So we ordered drinks, and my God, I swear to God, it took like 15 minutes for them to bring over like 8 bottles of Inca Cola or whatever, right? Took a long frickin' time to get some drinks. And it's one of those annoying things where you like sit around and you can see over there, like there goes like 8 people all standing around the bar and they're not really doing anything, you know, that I can tell, right? They're mostly chatting with each other. I mean, like there's a lot of people working there, but it took like 15 minutes for them to bring over like 8 overpriced bottles of Inca Cola. So, you know, the service wasn't really very good at all, and it was very little service, and it's a buffet, right? So normally at a buffet, like how much service is there at a buffet? The answer is not really much service at all, right? You know? So also, you may not be aware of this, but like in Peru, they're not big on tipping. Like tipping is like not like a huge thing, right? And, you know, like the more I travel, the more I appreciate kind of like the American system of tipping. You know what tipping stands for? Do you know? It's to improve service. That's what they told me years ago when I was a kid. I don't even know if that's true or not, but the point is that, you know, you basically, you know, dangle that out in front of the people who are helping you, right? Hey, like if you do a good job, you're going to get like a good tip, right? Which is why I think restaurants in the United States tend to have overall good service because people bust their ass to get a good tip. And if they don't bust their ass, then guess what? They don't get a good tip, right? So in Peru, normally you like leave like a couple of soles or whatever, right? Sol is the dollar, you know, is the Peruvian currency, and 3.3 soles equals $1 US, right? So, you know, so basically, you know, 10 soles is equal to $3, $3.50, something like that. Anyway, point is that, you know, so, you know, I'm thinking like, great. You know, we won't be leaving a big tip here because, you know, like normally you don't leave a big tip in Peru. And so comes time to pay, and it was like $260, right, for 10 people. That's 26 bucks a head. That includes tax, but we didn't have any alcohol. There's no alcohol, right? It's all just purely just like, you know, soda and lemonade and stuff like that, and maybe a couple of waters. I don't know, $260 for 10 people, 3 of whom were children, right? So that's 26 bucks a head, which in Peru is pretty steep, right? You know, even in Lima, that's, you know, it's definitely on the steep end of things. And mind you, the only service that we got was to, 1, be put in a very bad location, 2, to have to like move every 5 or 10 minutes, crouch, you know, crunch myself up against the table so they could get some wine out of the refrigerator, and 3, to wait 15 minutes for them to deliver, you know, 10 bottles of Inca Kola to the table. That was the entirety of the service that we experienced there. Because it was a buffet, we helped ourselves the rest. Okay, a couple of times they took away dirty plates, right? Like twice or 3 times they came and they grabbed a dirty plate and took it away. That's it, right? Okay, so like total time at the table from the staff was maybe 90 seconds, maybe, total, right? Total, the whole entire thing, right? Maybe 90 seconds. And so at the end, it's $260, and then, so they go to my wife, and they say, do you want to leave a tip? And she said, okay, there you go, that's the explosions in the background. Hey, it's the happy time of year in Peru, I guess. You know, New Year's is tomorrow. Today is December 30th. New Year's Eve is the 31st, so I guess they're practicing, or they still have leftovers from Christmas or whatever. Point is they ask her, hey, what's a good tip? I mean, my wife asks, although she's Peruvian, she should know this. She goes, what's a good tip? And I guess she thought they said like $10 or something like that, but it ended up being that it was 10%, right? So these guys got $26 of a tip for literally doing nothing. So now if I had been in the United States, I would have left, you know, 0 tip, right? Because it's a buffet, for one, they're not doing anything, right? I would have left like almost nothing, right? So basically they got 26 bucks for doing nothing, for literally 90 seconds worth of work. And so like we're going back to this question here of value, right? Like I have no problem giving somebody a big, huge tip if they bust their ass and provide the value, right? But like these guys, they provided no freaking value. They provided anti-value by saying there's no reservations and sitting us next to a table where they had reservations, by putting us in the corner without a terrible view and right next to the refrigerator, taking forever to bring the drinks, and then in the end, taking $26 for literally doing nothing, right? So that's just my old angry man rant today. We got ripped off at Mango's today. And while I was on there reading the reviews, some poor gringo who was staying at the Hyatt across the street talked about how he went to the buffet and he got diarrhea, really horrible, and he had to, like, you know, postpone his trip up into the Highlands or whatever. So there you go. You know, Mango's is kind of a nice restaurant. On TripAdvisor, I gave it 3 stars, right? You know, and you know, I gave the food a solid 4 stars, but you know, the place is kind of going downhill. It's the paint is kind of like seen better days, and the flooring is clapped out and worn, and then they've like jammed it in with the tables and all that. So I just want to get that off my chest, right? So like, if you're gonna ask for a 10% tip in Peru, which is a big frickin' tip as a percentage in Peru, god damn it, give some freaking good service, right, to justify asking for all that money, right? So that's it. That's all I gotta say. Okay, that's it for this episode of Frey TV. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest. I really appreciate it. Okay, everybody, I hope maybe we can get in another episode for tomorrow, which is New Year's Eve, the end of 2018. And I probably shouldn't end the year with, like, you know, whinging and complaining about getting scammed out of 26 bucks for bad service. I probably should not do that. I should probably be more positive, but you know what it is? I had too much caffeine today. I think that's what must be it. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll yak at you again real soon.